Good morning. Doors are opening. Hello. Hi, Robert. How are you? Let the doors get open for a second here. It always takes a minute for everybody to get in. And then we will go ahead and get started on this kind of gray day in spring. But there are daffodils popping up. So
Yes, they are.
So I'm gonna have
right now.
I'm gonna have hope of spring is really here. But you know, I was telling my husband this morning, whenever we have super warm days early, I feel like we pay for it. So we get this sneak peek. What was it, about a month ago that we had that like 70-degree day and it was beautiful? We're all like, oh,
and it's payback time.
and now we gotta pay for it because we weren't supposed to have it yet. Well, good morning, everyone. We will go ahead and get started. My name is Candace Swick. If I haven't met you, this is Tuesday morning Village Chat at Westminster Village. And I have a very, very special guest that I'm excited to have a conversation with you all. This is Carolyn Jones. She is a resident at Westminster Village. And I asked you to come today to kind of round out this series on the 8 dimensions of wellness. Okay. Because I think one of the most important components is the vocational and having a sense of purpose. And Carolyn here is very purpose driven. And she's going to share with us all the different opportunities to continue our vocations when we come to Westminster Village through volunteering and things like that. So let's recap the dimensions of wellness. We have spiritual, physical, social, intellectual, vocational, emotional, environmental, and health services. Those are the 8 dimensions of wellness. We learned from Jill a few weeks ago, our wellness navigator here at the village, that they were actually founded, or I don't want to say founded, but the concept of this was put together in like the 1970s. So it goes back a long way. And at the village, we've become intentional about incorporating these elements into all the things that we offer at the village.
And you certainly have.
So, and we decided that it would be a great idea just to talk about that and to share it. And leading up to, we have this event coming up tomorrow. It is the 8 Dimensions of Wellness event here at Westminster Village. If you haven't registered, if you haven't made plans to come, it's not too late. You can call us or email us, go on the website. There's a link there on the event. You can just sign up right there. But that event will kind of be like a fair. There's just different sessions, you know, and you'll be assigned to a group and you'll get to go around and participate in different things around the village.
That sounds like fun.
I think it'll be fun. And it is for residents and non-residents alike. So, because we have a lot of newer residents who aren't as familiar, and this is about opening those experiences up. Everybody knows that I love my love of art. So I am particularly, I'm particularly excited about the art experience down in the studios.
That is a wonderful experience down there.
I'm excited.
That is wonderful.
So let's jump right in because we have a lot to talk about. And Carolyn and we did a bit more prior planning even than what I usually do when we got talked, because we talked about this, I think about a year ago.
Probably.
And our conversation was so robust that I was like, oh my gosh, when will I have an opportunity to ask Carolyn on to share all this? So let's just start off with, can you just tell everybody a little bit about yourself, how long you've been at Westminster, what you did before coming here, and just jump off with that.
Sure. I came to Westminster 5.5 years ago. I'm one of the pioneers out in the hybrids. And it's a wonderful neighborhood that we have morphed into with this, and just a great place to live. I think it's probably, well, not probably, but it has exceeded everybody's expectations, at least in my building, hybrid too, with it. As far as my past, anyhow, professionally, well, I'm a 4th generation educator. So the fact that I had 3 before me is not surprising. I wanted that. I started out as a junior high history teacher and geography teacher, 7th and 8th graders, all the wiggle worms in there, but I loved them. in Rocky River, Ohio.
Wow.
And I did that for 5 years. And then for the next 39 years, I spent time in grad school. I worked at a liberal arts college in 3 Big Ten universities and retired from Purdue as Associate Executive Vice President of the University in Academic Affairs.
Interesting.
It's been a wonderful journey.
That is
I
fascinating.
have had lots of fun
I
and
didn't,
hopefully done some good.
I'm sure you did. I didn't know that about the history. My second passion after art is history.
Oh, really?
So maybe this is why we connect so well.
Hey, might be.
I spend a lot of time reading historical fiction, historical novels, biographies. That's what I do in my spare time.
We're gonna have to get together more.
We really are. We really are. So can you tell us, before we jump into the different things that have to do with volunteering here, why did you choose Westminster Village?
That's an interesting story. Now, I think, I know I've had an advantage over a lot of people because for 14 years, I was the visitor from my church to Westminster Village. And as I think back about it, fortunately, I didn't know at the time. I think Westminster was recruiting me when I played 40s and 50s. And I think I was looking them over. But no, it wasn't intended or planned that way with it. But I really enjoyed my time over here. And I'm trying to think, why did I? And it's because the people here were having fun. They were having a good time. They were enjoying each other. They were doing this, doing that, and new adventures. And I thought, when I grow old, I'm not there yet. That's what I want.
No, you're
That's
not.
the way I want it to be. And I also noticed the staff, and they appeared to be a very competent staff. They knew when to step in and when to step back, and when to let the people take over and when to have fun. And I thought, that's my kind of environment. So when I get old and I'm looking for a place, I'm looking for something like Westminster.
Well, that's really encouraging.
But then along came the hybrids. Excuse me, saw an ad in the paper about it, and I thought, ooh, I'm not ready, but this is really sounding like me. So I came over and looked and talked with people, and the Live Well Center was just coming online at that point. We have a fabulous library here for a retirement center, and it's all been done from the residents. I understand now from day one.
It's really phenomenal.
With it is, and a pub, place to take friends for lunch if you don't want to cook, kind of thing with it. And so I decided now's the time to do it.
And you got when it was brand new.
Brand new.
So that's always nice.
Well, and there are a couple of other things here that influenced me too. I've known all along in that I don't have any family here in town, that I've got to have somebody that will take care of me when I can't do that. And in Westminster, with its assisted living and all, independent living and all of the choices in independent living, with assisted living and with the health center, is going to be able to do it. So I came in saying, Westminster, I'm yours. I mean, you're going to have to take care of me.
That's the idea,
life.
though, is it's making the plans for our future.
Yeah.
So that if a crisis comes up at some point, it's already thought of.
Well, it's not already thought of, it's in place.
Right.
With
So
that.
it's that plan for the future.
And there were a couple other things that were important to me. One of them, given my background, was that residents be able to be involved in the governance of this place, that we were going to have a say-so in what was happening here. Not making all the decisions, but having a say-so. And Westminster is very good at that.
I think that stems from how we were founded.
It is.
I mean, it was established when we were founded by, they're called, the Wonderful Eight or whatever you refer to them as, but the first founding board and those residents who saved the village, essentially, when it was built in the 1970s, and the Presbyterian Housing Authority, their business model failed. That group stepped in because this place mattered to them. They were residents and they bought it, saved it, figured it out. And I think it has to do with that because that's our heritage.
Well, I think so. And one of the exciting pieces on this, two of the seven that were on that group were members of my church.
Oh,
And so
you knew about it.
Well, I knew about it. I lived some of it
Wow.
with them. And that was such an exciting time.
It's just interesting because at that time, this concept of retirement living was brand new. I mean, all that existed prior to that were nursing homes, essentially, and you didn't want to go to a nursing home. You know, you might need one, but you didn't want to
Go on.
And so this whole concept was brand new. So to be at the forefront of that was, you know, which makes sense coming from a university town and people who are forward thinking, and it just makes sense that they would come from our educators to figure this out.
Yeah, and there's one other thing I learned about it from that experience, talking to these two people that had been through it. Westminster was initially built by Presbyterian housing. So it was part of a large group of housing centers. And what had happened, and it's understandable why it would happen with it, is Westminster Village, West Lafayette was doing very, very well. Over here, they had some that weren't doing very well. So what do? You take the money, the income that you're getting from here, and you put it over there. And you put it over here. And this place wasn't able to use all of its own resources because it was being taken away. So one of the things I learned real early on is, Carolyn, you need to look for a locally owned nonprofit. Westminster is one of those.
It is. So tell us, we've talked a little bit about some of the things. You mentioned the library, you mentioned other things, but what roles? There are a lot of opportunities to serve at Westminster Village because, as you said, it is run in part by the residents have a say. And can you tell us what roles you've played in that? What roles have you, served at Westminster Village? And in the community, because I know that you've been active in the community as well.
Yeah, I have. That's one of the nice things about coming to Westminster. You don't have to give up your life in the community. You do that as well. Well, here at Westminster, I've gone through the 3-year process, being vice chair of the resident council, chair and past chair of the resident council. That cycle finished up last year. So I'm going back to my roots. The resident council has a history committee. I'm chairing it.
So the books in the library that tell our history, does that fall under what you do?
Well, not those, some that tell our history. Anything about the history of Westminster Village falls under the rubric of the history committee.
Oh, wow.
So anyhow, I just want to take back to my roots.
I think that's exciting.
Yeah, I do too. May have to let you be an honorary member.
I would love to do that. Do you know
that you love history?
Do you know that I am a member of Tri Kappa?
Okay.
And I am the history and, like, I don't know if you want to call it the scrapbooking, but like the collector of things. I'm the officer in our chapter that does that.
We're going to have to get.
I know. That's my job. Oh no, that's
Yeah.
one of my many other jobs.
Yeah. Well, I know what many other jobs are about too. Also, we at Westminster, we had a long range planning committee trying to look at what's ahead for the next 10 years. And there were 3 residents involved in that. I was one of the 3. Now, another example of residents being involved in processes with these things. And our board of directors occasionally invites residents to be members of their committees. And I was asked about 6 months ago to be a member of the quality committee.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
See, I'm learning new things.
Aren't we all? That's what life is about.
So, and it's exciting when you mentioned the master planning and being a part of that. It's an exciting time for me to be here because we are on the cusp. We've just started implementing that plan that you all came up with before I came. So, I mean, these things take a long time.
Did it just for you.
You did. You knew I was coming.
We knew you were coming. We knew we could get her if we had a plan.
So, yeah, we're so excited about that. And in the coming weeks, we're going to take a break from Village Chat for 2 weeks. But when we come back, we're going to be unveiling that to the world. So some
Folks,
exciting times ahead.
folks tune in because there's some really exciting things on the drawing board.
Yeah, I just had a meeting last night about, so my part in that, a big surprise, the design. So that's where I have come in to lend my expertise and I get to have a hand in that. So yeah, we're finalizing some things last night and it's exciting. I can't wait to share it with everybody.
Good.
So speaking of, so you've volunteered a lot. You've given a lot of your time, a lot of your effort. Tell us, why is that important? Why, in your opinion, is volunteering so important?
Well, I have to start out with saying that volunteering is part of my DNA. My mother and my father both working, but volunteering was very important. And my folks didn't have a lot of money back then. I was an only child and they couldn't afford a babysitter every time they were going to go out and volunteer on something.
Mm-hmm.
So I became part of it. I probably was carried in the basket the first one. I don't know. So it's just part of my DNA that you do something good.
Mm-hmm.
It's important to do things that are good. You do something for those others who need some help, but do it something that's going to be useful
Mm-hmm.
To them. You help make something better. You try to be a difference maker, so you feel good about it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But then you said, well, what's in it for you? And I think there are a lot of things that are in fact, I wrote them down last night. So let me just go down the list real quickly here.
All right.
Particularly for somebody who's in a retirement center. Number one, it's a reason to get up in the morning. And that is really important. You're no longer working, you no longer have 20,000 things coming at you. Sometimes you just have to have a reason to get up in the morning. And if you've got this volunteer project you need to work on, you've got to get up for it.
Mm-hmm.
It's an opportunity to meet people, to develop new or strengthen old friendships. And I think that's where all this chatter around here comes from. People get to meet each other and they
Right.
like each other, and then groups begin to expand with it. It's an opportunity to learn something new.
Ever learning, which takes us to the intellectual.
That's right.
Intellectual and
Well,
vocational.
I'm glad you put both of them together because it's not only learning new material, but it's learning to do new kinds of things. And oh my goodness, the opportunities for that really just abound here.
And if we want to so all of that feels good, but there is solid science behind this.
Yes, there
That
is.
if we keep learning, we keep engaging our minds, it is proven that we live longer and healthier lives. Our brains it's fascinating to me. There's so much we don't even understand about the human brain, but it's just this cycle of things that happen. The endorphins from feeling happy, and it's interesting. So
Well, it's very interesting. It's very interesting to do it too.
mm-hmm.
I'm going to get you soon. Hardly wait to get old. Move in.
Carol and I, do you know Carol York?
I do.
We have talked
forever.
Many times. I'm like, Carol, now I've got 15 years to go before they'd allow me to move in. I'm like, so you got to stay put because we get to have fun together when I retire and it's my turn. Me and Joe get to go.
Hey, there you go. Well, this is a place to have fun. And I look at my list here and that's what I have right here. Have some fun. You're going to have a lot of fun doing those things. You feel good about accomplishing something useful. Now, you said you wonder about old age, and I thought feel good. Well, go out and do something useful, and you do. And there's so many opportunities around here to accomplish something useful with it.
Well, and you have a whole lifetime of experience to teach us.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my gosh, I would be sure that I do my job better now than I did 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I was competent then, but it just age gives you more competency. You learn, you grow. And so when you all bring your expertise to the table, we get to learn from you and we get to do a better job at our job. So it's a great partnership.
Well, it is. There's no question about it. And the one last thing I wrote down here, and I thought this is so true. It's you can prove to yourself you can still do it.
There you go.
I mean,
That is
you
true.
try, you think you're gonna, you don't know whether you can do it or not. So get in and try.
Yes, I
And
like
it,
it.
and it feels good to say, wow, I can still do that.
Yeah, and I bet you in some cases, you might do it better than you once
Maybe.
did.
Some of it, well, yes, practice makes perfect.
Right.
And some of
And
us
another
been
thing,
practicing it for
You
X number of
learn
years.
something new and it's like, wow, I could do that. I didn't know I could.
Yeah.
I know, Rachel's always telling us that about down in the studios. People come in who have never painted, never created, never anything, and they create these beautiful works and, and it's like, oh, I didn't know I could do that. I didn't know I had that in me. I mean, and
That
that's
has happened to a lot of people. Rachel's working on me about that, but I'm still a project.
Well, now you're gonna do the history. So I
Oh.
can imagine all the neat things that we could create around that.
You're gonna have to,
like,
you're gonna have to retire early.
I
Or
know.
maybe you could be a sales director in residence. How would that be?
I think that could work. I'll volunteer. Oh, goodness. So I think we've talked about this. We've alluded to it for certainly, but I had one last question on my list, even though I feel sure that we've already covered this. But in your opinion, what makes Westminster so different from other retirement communities? Because there's others and they're good.
Sure. Number one, residents are involved here in the governance and planning activities. We know what is happening, we see what is happening, but we're asked about it before it happens. What do you think? And I can think of numbers of times plans have been changed because residents have given the decision makers ideas that they hadn't thought about. And the decision makers are saying, whoa, wait a minute, we really need to do that. Facilities. Who else around here has a live well center, a pub, 2 fully equipped art studios, a library as extensive as ours, hybrid homes, new cottages and homes the size of ours and the quality of ours. And am I going to be taking away part of your thunder for your new
Just say it. What do you got?
a dedicated memory care center and
Yes.
and new assisted living units, which will be under construction yet this spring.
They already started. So you just got a hint. You
That's
just got a
right.
hint. If you hadn't already heard the rumors. Well, we've been talking about these things for a long time.
Yeah, no,
That they would be
it's
coming.
nothing quiet. It's something that the
It's not a
residents,
secret, but yes.
in fact, having been a member of the committee that did this was our top priority to get those 2 things done.
Well, we see a huge need.
There is.
I mean,
There's
our
no question about that.
wait list that we have for assisted living is long. And we have residents to take care of.
Mhm.
So we have to meet that need. And I think the need for secure memory care, we have excellent memory care programming
Mhm.
that's a subject that's really dear to my heart. So it is excellent, but we don't have the secure memory care piece. And so that's going to take us to that next level to really be able to take care of everyone who has cognitive issues going on. So yeah, I'm very excited about that.
I haven't gone to the end of my list yet.
You have more?
Yeah.
Oh,
I have 4.
forward.
We're locally
Here's
owned.
with it.
We're
Yes.
locally owned and we're not for profit.
Yes.
And you're not going to find many of those around here. In fact, in the,
Truly non-for-profit, not just a tax write-off.
that's right, truly non-for-profit in what we're doing with it. In fact, in terms of living centers, residential communities, village, we're the only one that's that. Now, if you want to get into some place that is just a health center, there are a couple of those around
Sure,
with it.
sure.
Another one. We're the only one that has a not-for-profit foundation. Our
Yes.
own dedicated just to Westminster Village.
And what that offers is something that no one else has.
That's right.
around. I mean, there's a few others in the country that offer it, but it's just not common. But they offer the opportunity that when you come to Westminster, if you were to outlive your funds, you know that you're taken care of. You will never be kicked out to a Medicaid facility. You are safe. Even if you were to live to 100 or whatever happened, it doesn't matter what the happening is, but just the fact that it could happen in today's society. Healthcare costs are astronomical.
That's
And-
right.
And it's not a profit issue. It's literally just the cost of healthcare. And it's, so yeah, so to have that protection. And not to mention, there's so much other things that the foundation does.
Well,
I
that's
mean,
right.
the patio project that's happening, another sneak, I just let go of another thing out of
See?
the bag.
Yeah, I'll keep working on it here. Okay.
But yeah, that's being done by the foundation.
That's right.
That's exciting. I mean, so it's not just taking care of residents, but it's also taking care of the village. So yeah,
Mhm.
hand in hand, exciting stuff.
Yeah, it is. And so you see what I meant when I said, Westminster, I'm yours. It's,
Yeah.
I know I can be here the rest of my life if that's my choice
Yes.
with it. And then I had one more, something that I've learned since being on a board committee with this. And that is that Westminster continually has the highest state-rated health center in Greater Lafayette.
Yes. we
So
do.
not only am I there, I'm theirs here. I know they're going to take care of me when I can't take care of myself
Yes,
and be the best in the area.
that is something to certainly, especially during the pandemic, that we maintained that. I love to see it. It was astonishing to me because I came from corporate. You know, I came from corporate for-profit communities to come here, and it blew my mind to see the level that they went to, the resources that we put behind keeping everybody safe during COVID in the health center. I mean, literally building new units. It
Yes.
looked like ET in there. But that was beyond what I'd seen anywhere else. The salon, they made these pods so
Mhm.
people could get their hair done
Yeah.
because it mattered to their well-being.
Mhm.
So it was just a step beyond. You know, and allowing a big part in healthcare is having the resources for staffing.
Mhm.
That is a huge issue in healthcare. And so many times corporate entities will like whittle it down to nothing. And these usually it's women, there's men too, but these care workers are run ragged. And even though, yes, I know our care workers work super hard, we're just able to balance it better because we allot the money to it, to be quite honest.
And also corporate can't take it away from us and take it somewhere
Right.
else.
And that's a huge
Yeah.
issue because, you know I had that experience with my previous company. My communities were profitable. We did great, but guess what? Them down the street didn't. So I didn't get the new kitchen equipment that we desperately needed.
Mhm.
I didn't have the staffing for the life enrichment, the activities that we desperately needed. Our budgets were cut short. It didn't matter that right here in this community, we were profitable. We did the right things, but they didn't.
Mhm.
So we had to pay for that. And then we were punished and my residents were punished and it rankled me. And then
Yes.
Westminster came along and sought me out and I learned about it and I was like, wow, I always knew there was a better way. I just didn't know what that way was. So here I am.
It's here.
So anyway, do you have anything else on your list?
No.
All right.
I'm down at the bottom.
There you go. Well, thank you so much for sharing, Carolyn. Stephanie, are you there with us today? Did you have some updates for us?
Good morning, I am here. Sorry I was late. We are very excited for our Dimensions of Wellness event this Wednesday. It is not too late to register, so plan to wear comfy clothes. Give us a call if you would like to join us. This is a hands-on event and should be quite fun. Depositors, check your Club WV inbox or Facebook group for an invitation to a special event on April 3rd. And we have a little hint, it's convos. I don't know if that's a hint or giving it away, but there we go. And heads up, as we're all thinking about spring cleaning, Westminster is hosting on Earth Day the Eco Shred. So as you're cleaning and gathering things that you no longer need, feel free to bring it in and we'll get those documents shredded for you. And I think that's all the updates that I have. That is April 22nd is Earth Day this year.
Thank you, Stephanie. Yes, I will be posting the Eco Shred on our Facebook event pages and on our website on Friday. I believe it's scheduled to go up, but now you guys get to know about it ahead of time. So Friday, April 22nd, the Eco Shred truck will be here. You'll be able just to drive through and drop your boxes off of the things that need shredded. And this is for residents, of course, but we are opening it to the public to offer
Oh,
it to
and
them.
I
as
got
well.
something for them.
What, you had a lot of stuff to
I got a
shred?
lot of stuff to shred.
Well, I think it'll be good. It's spring cleaning. It's time to think about these things. And it's Earth Day, so we're, this is all recycling. So it's good stuff. Anyways, well, thank you so much for joining us. And like Stephanie said, it's not too late. If you haven't registered to come tomorrow, it's 1 to 3. We start at 1 o'clock. So you need to be here so you can take advantage of all of the different sessions. There is a really good goodie bag. There's some good swag that you get along the way, door prizes. So I think it'll be a lot of fun.
It sounds like it is.
Are you coming over for that? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are.
I plan
Yeah.
to.
What am I thinking? Yes, I saw the list.
I have so far to come.
Yes, I know. It's a trek.
Yeah, right across the
Right across
driveway.
the driveway. Thank you so much, everyone. And don't forget, we are on a 2-week break after this for spring break. So we will send you out emails and we'll have it on Facebook, on our website with the next series. And so you can get registered for that. And of course, I've alluded to the topic, but basically we're going to be announcing WV expansion 2022.
But you have some insight.
You do
as to
have
what it's
some
gonna
insight,
be.
but you'll get to get all the lowdown. So it'll be exciting. All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.